close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, right? Wrong. I'm adding CrossFit to the list. If you're doing a movement in CrossFit, as long as you're close, it counts. More on judging and a level playing field. That's what we're going to talk about today, because the judging drama is going to continue for a long, long time, and so it should, so that we can work on fixing this problem. Welcome to the channel, Old Guy Inc. Do me a favor, hit subscribe real quick, like the video. It helps. I appreciate your feedback. It opens up more discussion, gives me ideas for future videos. So I appreciate any feedback. Give it to me. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this judging thing from maybe a little bit of a different angle. I tend to be the type of person who sometimes looks at things from a much different point of view, and I'm willing to point out some things, give some opinions, or maybe just some, like, play the role of a different opinion, even if I don't necessarily have that opinion. But it's good to just look at things from a variety of angles when you're trying to solve a problem. So what I want to talk about is, I feel like I'm going to make the assumption that most people who are concerned about judging, what they're concerned about is that we have a level playing field, is that everybody is getting held to the same standard. And of course, we kind of end up blaming the judges because we're like, hey, you're letting that person get away with something that I'm not getting away with. And so you feel that there's an unlevel playing field. Now, I'm going to look at something from another perspective. And what I'm going to say to you is that really true? I mean, I'm not so sure that the very, very few excellent judges that we have out there that know the standards, have a great eye, and are really holding people accountable and calling no reps on a very frequent basis when needed, that they're not the ones who are creating an unfair advantage. What? Did I just say that? Yes, I did. I'm not so sure that what's happened is the judging has gotten to a point where we have let, and by we, I mean the collective group of CrossFit and judging as a whole, have let so many movement standards slide for such a period of time that, man, I'm not so sure now that the pressure on a judge isn't, look, you look to your left, you look to your right, and you're thinking to yourself, do I really want to be the judge that is going to hold my athlete more accountable than everybody else? Okay, let's remember, we're dealing with real people. Okay, we're dealing with humans. So let's not act like we are not human. Okay, everybody understands peer pressure and also just thinking that you're doing the right thing. So once again, I'm just taking this stance, and I'd love to hear what you guys think, okay? It's not necessarily my full honest opinion, but I'm willing to take this stance and say, hey, let's discuss it, okay? Because here it is. Let's just say that I was a judge and I was going to semifinals, just for example. I am smart enough, okay, like most of our judges, okay, I'm going to give them credit, that I have done a little bit of research. I've watched a little bit of social media. I've been involved with judging in the past. If I'm at semifinals, I'm hoping that it's not mine or anybody else's first time judging. So we have enough history and data to look back on to understand that in general, for the most part, most judges are not calling no reps on a consistent basis, or they're not seeing the no rep when it's happening live because it's so fast in person. Whatever reason that they have, the reality is the data really shows that for the most part, judges are letting a lot of movements slide. The faster the movement, the more elite the athlete, the more discrepancy there is in whether or not these movement standards are getting hit. Now, once again, what I'm pointing out to you though is that really creating an unfair advantage? Because I feel, for the sake of this video, that the argument I'm making is that the majority of judges are judging the same way. So I'm not so sure that although we might not like it, although we might not look at a movement and say, hey, that's not how I do it in my gym. Like, my coach isn't letting that shit fly during my workouts. I'm not so sure that in that moment that everybody's not competing on a level playing field for the most part, okay? Because I understand this is a little different in some regards for online competitions, because we have such a range of judges online that clearly people are getting judged differently. But when you are at a competition, like on the competition floor, right, you're only competing against that small group of people that are in that competition. And so what I'm saying is, when I watch these events, for the most part, the judge that stands out to me is the one that's calling no reps. And yes, there's part of me, okay, like other social media people who are making videos, that say, hey, let's hold this judge up on a platform. Let's say this judge is awesome. This judge is doing it correctly. But once again, I'm going to flip that a little bit and just say, hold up, I'm with you. Let's just think about it from the other side. Is that fair to that athlete that they got the one judge that is going to hold them to the actual standards? Because in that competition, in that event, you can make an argument that that athlete is being subject to movement standards that the other athletes are not. Now, once again, I'm trying to make this simple. I'm not saying that there's only one judge at any competition doing it correctly. What I am saying is, I'm very willing and confident to say that for the most part, okay, the majority of judges are letting a lot of the same things slide. So although I don't like it, I'm not sure that we're not getting a fairly fair competition. That's my question. And so I'm not so sure that before we solve this problem, okay, that it's not going to get worse before it gets better. Now, there's a lot of problems that get worse before they get better. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't make them better. Okay, I want to make that clear. We need to make judging better. 100%. I am not trying to argue that we should just let this slide. What I'm trying to do is have you guys look at things the same way my crazy brain does sometimes and say, man, this shit is hard, and it's going to be harder than just getting online, saying stuff's fucked up, okay, calling out judges, posting videos of people doing no reps. That's not going to solve the problem. We have to approach this from a different standpoint. Okay, athletes, they do want to do the movements correctly. Okay, I believe they do. Judges, they do want to hold athletes accountable to the standards. I believe they do. But I think everybody's human. I think everybody who's willing to volunteer, go through the training, have the experience to get to something like semifinals, for example, I believe that they're smart enough to, once again, I'm going to repeat this, to look around during the judges meeting and say, man, am I going to be the one judge that's strict? Because I think they are probably feeling like, okay, guys, man, there's enough history here that I kind of know the things that everybody lets slide. And so, okay, what do you have to gain? Okay, here's what you have to gain. You're going to get some YouTuber, okay, who has, sure, 10,000 followers or something. Maybe you're going to get somebody to call you out on some decent sized platform that says, hey, look at me. That's probably not going to happen, but that's like the best case scenario, that maybe somehow you get some good publicity from that. What's more likely to happen is that athlete is going to be pissed at you. You're going to have a lot of pressure on you. And people in the stands are maybe going to notice that, geez, this is the only ref calling no reps, and some of them are going to clap. But in reality, I think that it creates a scenario where people are looking at you and going, dude, you really made that very, very hard on your athlete. We all kind of did the same thing, right? The other judges. And then you kind of did your thing. And so the reality is, all of us judges who were kind of consistently letting things slide, we pretty much gave everybody an equal and fair playing field. you made this workout a lot harder for your athlete. Now, I don't have the answer to that. I don't have the answer. That's why I get on here and I throw my hands in the air and I rant and rave and I do this, is because I'm like, I would like some feedback. I want to know what you guys think about how my crazy brain works. I just don't think this problem is going to be solved by dirt shooting CrossFit, calling out judges, calling out athletes, posting videos, and proving all the no reps that they did. Okay, once again, I have said this before and I'll say it again. I would be willing to bet that there are videos of me out there on the web doing shitty ass reps. Does it mean I was trying to do them on purpose? No. I may have even had a judge with me. Did we get together before the workout and go, hey, let's make sure that you don't hold me to a very high standard? No. I just think shit happens. The athlete is trying to run as efficiently as possible. They're moving quickly. The judge is trying to watch the clock. They're trying to count reps. They're trying to look for multiple points of performance all at the same time. Okay? These things are hard. And once again, I think that all these judges know, hey, come on. I mean, let's go to the CrossFit Open. Okay? We have hundreds of thousands of people running these workouts across the country. Videos are not even required for the vast majority of people. And people know exactly what's going on and what type of standards other people are being held to. So it's very hard to be the dude or the lady in your gym that says, hey, during the CrossFit Open workout, I am going to be the judge of all judges. I am going to hold you accountable to the T. I'm an amazing judge. I can multitask, and I am going to see all your points of performance, and I'm going to no rep you unless you do it perfect. Okay, man, you're really, really putting your athlete in a difficult position as far as the competition and the rankings go. Are you doing the right thing? Yes. Is the right thing to try to figure out a way that we can consistently hold athletes to a standard? Yes. Do we need to figure out a better system for the CrossFit Open? Yes. Do we need to figure out a better way to do video reviews? Yes. Okay. So don't lose me in my crazy little scenarios that I'm throwing out here and my ideas. Okay. I am 100% on board. CrossFit has a problem. CrossFit is responsible for fixing the problem. We should be bringing the problem to the attention of CrossFit and to other CrossFitters and judges, because here's what I think. I kind of think that this is going to need to come from the athletes more than the judges. Okay. Now, someone tell me if this is already happening. Okay. But I'm going to make up my little far-fetched scenario of what I'd like to see in a perfect world. Okay. Instead of having an athlete briefing and a judging briefing before an event. Okay. This is what I would like to see. I would like to see judges and athletes have a briefing together. And I would like to see the athletes stand up, speak directly to the judges, and all together say, judges, we want all of you to hold us to this standard. And then let's go over the movement standards, right? Let's do it together. Let's pair up athletes and judges together before the event with a head judge on site. And let's require that judges watch athletes perform reps of the movements that they're going to be doing in the event, okay? So bear with me. A lot of my ideas involve more logistics, more work, more time. I understand. I'm just brainstorming. But let's just say, okay, play along with me, that at semifinals or at the CrossFit Games, we add in this extra step where instead, like it's normally recommended, right? If you've ever done a competition, if you're smart, when you hit the competition floor, that's when you find out who your judge is. You go up to that judge and you say, hey, watch me do a couple of these pistols. Watch me do these because I'm going to do them quickly. I want to make sure me and you are on the same page. If I'm not doing them right, please give me a warning. Something, right? You communicate with your judge. You try to make sure you're on the same page so you don't end up getting all these no reps during your workout. Okay. If you've never done that, I suggest you do. What I'm suggesting is, once again, like at semifinals, we add another step. Backstage, okay, let's assign judges to athletes prior to the event, let's have an athlete and judges briefing where the judge and the athlete get together as a pair, okay? And they spread out in the back room. Then the head judge gets up and goes through the movement standards, explains the movements, tells the judges exactly what they're looking for, asks the athletes to perform reps of those movements, and then quickly, because maybe we only have a group of like 10 people in a heat, right? So this isn't actually going to be that hard. And then the judge goes around, the head judge, and watches each athlete perform a movement, looks at the judge, and then makes corrections and reinforces. And then the athlete looks at the judge and says, please hold me accountable. We're about to be on video. The whole world is going to see this. And I don't want a fucking video made of me because I look stupid out there. Okay? That's going to change the whole mindset of the judges. Now this team of judges goes out there and says, shit. Okay, my athlete asked me to do this. My athlete wants me to do this. We're on the same page. I'm not going to piss them off because we just went over this in the back. Okay? How about that? I don't know, but I'd sure as shit like to try it because we do need to fix the problem. But just yelling at these judges and telling them that they suck and just calling out athletes and saying, dude, your standards are embarrassing is not working, and I don't think it's gonna work. So, there you have it. Old Guy Inc., another one of his crazy ideas. I love getting on here and just yelling at you with the voice. So please hit me up, give me some comments, tell me I'm fucking crazy, tell me some of my crazy ideas aren't that crazy. I'd love to hear from you. Please subscribe, hit like, and give me a comment. Thank you.